In the heart of New York's cutthroat corporate world, a billionaire CEO's empire teeters on the edge of collapse, all because of one missing piece, a French translator. With a high-stakes deal slipping through his fingers and panic setting. In hope comes from the unlikeliest of places, a janitor's daughter who's about to turn his world upside down. Buckle up for a story of chaos, secrets, and unexpected heroes that'll leave you speechless. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and join the ride. The glass walls of Pinnacle Enterprises' Manhattan headquarters gleamed under the morning sun, a towering symbol of success in New York's financial district. Inside, however, chaos brewed. Edward Langston, the 52-year-old CEO, paced his corner office, his polished loafers clicking against the marble floor. His tailored suit was pristine, but sweat beaded on his forehead. A deal worth $3 billion. Merger with a French tech giant, Lumiere Innovations, was hours away from collapsing. The French CEO, Madame Claire Dubois, was due to arrive in less than 2 hours, and Edward's translator, the linchpin of the negotiation, had just called in sick with laryngitis. No one else on his elite team spoke fluent French. Edward's stomach churned as he barked orders into his phone, his voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Find me someone. Anyone. Now." Downstairs, in the basement maintenance room, Maria Alvarez mopped the floor, her hands calloused from years of cleaning. Offices after hours. At 47, she was invisible to the suits upstairs, just another face in the army of workers keeping Pinnacle's empire spotless. Her thoughts drifted to her daughter Sophia, a 22-year-old linguistics student at NYU who was visiting her at work. That morning, Sophia had a gift for languages: Spanish, French, Mandarin, even a bit of Arabic picked up from years of self-study, and a knack for picking up accents like they were melodies. Maria smiled faintly, proud but weary. Sophia's dreams were bigger than her own, but the world didn't always make room for a janitor's daughter. Upstairs, Edward's assistant, Rachel, a harried 30-year-old with a clipboard glued to her chest, was spiraling. She'd called every translation agency in a 50-mile radius. No one was available on such short notice. The clock ticked closer to Madame Dubois' arrival, and Edward's temper flared. He slammed his fist on his desk, rattling a crystal paperweight. "This is unacceptable. Do you know what's at stake? My reputation, this company, everything." Rachel flinched, her phone buzzing with another rejection from a translator. She muttered under her breath, "Unless someone in this building speaks French, we're done for." In the lobby, Sophia sat on a bench, her backpack stuffed with textbooks. She was scrolling through her phone, practicing French verb conjugations, when Maria emerged from the elevator, mop in hand. Sophia looked up, her dark eyes bright. "Mom, you look exhausted. Why don't you take a break?" Maria waved her off, her voice warm but firm. "No time, Mia. This place doesn't clean itself." Sophia frowned, hating how the world treated her mother like a shadow. She glanced at the bustling lobby executives in suits, their voices clipped and urgent. Something was wrong. She could feel it. Rachel, now sprinting through the lobby with her phone pressed to her ear, nearly collided with Maria. "Sorry, Maria, I'm in a crisis," she blurted, then froze. "Wait, you're from somewhere, right? Do you speak French?" Maria shook her head, confused. "No, just Spanish and English." Sophia, overhearing, stood up, her curiosity piqued. "I speak French, fluently. What's going on?" Rachel's eyes widened, but skepticism crept in. You're, what, a college kid? No offense, but this is a billion-dollar deal. We need a professional." Sophia's jaw tightened, but she kept her voice steady. "Test me, I'll prove it." Minutes later, Sophia stood in Edward's office, her worn sneakers a stark contrast to the polished opulence around her. Edward barely looked at her, his focus on a stack of contracts. "You're the janitor's kid? This is a joke, right?" Sophia didn't flinch. She picked up a contract from his desk, scanned the French text, and translated a paragraph flawlessly, her accent crisp and Parisian. Edward's eyebrows shot up. Rachel, standing by the door, exhaled in relief. "She's good, sir, really good." Edward grunted, still unconvinced but desperate. "Fine, you're in. Don't screw this up." Asterisk, the boardroom was a battlefield of egos when Madame Dubois arrived. Her silver hair was pulled into a chignon, her presence commanding as she swept in with her team. Edward greeted her with a strained smile, his French limited to a butchered bonjour. Dubois' eyes narrowed, sensing weakness. The negotiations began, and Sophia, seated at the far end of the table, translated every word with precision. Her voice was steady, weaving between English and French, catching nuances even Edward's absent translator might have missed. Dubois, initially skeptical of the young woman in jeans, began to nod approvingly. Edward, for the first time that day, felt a flicker of hope. Asterisk, but the deal wasn't smooth. Dubois was ruthless, poking holes in Pinnacle's valuation and demanding concessions Edward hadn't anticipated. Sophia didn't just translate, she clarified cultural subtleties, explaining to Edward in whispers why Dubois' tone hinted at distrust. "She thinks you're hiding something," Sophia murmured during a break. "Be transparent about the R&D budget." "She values honesty." Edward, unused to taking advice from anyone, let alone a 22-year-old, bristled but followed her lead. The room's tension eased slightly as Dubois softened, impressed by Edward's sudden candor. Asterisk, then came the first twist. During a heated exchange about intellectual property rights, Sophia noticed something odd in the French contract. A clause, buried in dense legal jargon, suggested Lumière could claim partial ownership of Pinnacle's proprietary IT technology post-merger. It was a trap, one Edward's team had missed. Sophia's heart raced. She couldn't outright it. Wasn't her place. But she caught Edward's eye and subtly shook her head. He frowned, confused, but trusted her enough to pause. "Madame Dubois," he said through Sophia, "let's revisit the IP terms. I want clarity." Dubois' smile faltered, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. She hadn't expected them to catch it. As negotiations continued, Sophia's role grew. She wasn't just translating, she was strategizing, feeding Edward insights that kept Dubois off balance. The French team, sensing a shift, grew tense. During a lunch break, Sophia overheard two of Dubois' aides whispering in French about a backup plan to scuttle the deal if Pinnacle pushed too hard. Sophia's pulse quickened. She pulled Edward aside, her voice low. "They're planning to walk away unless you sweeten the deal. Offer them a joint venture on the AI project. It'll make them feel like partners, not rivals." Edward stared at her, torn between admiration and irritation. "How do you know this stuff?" Sophia shrugged. "I listen. And I'm not as invisible as you think." Asterisk, the second twist hit like a thunderbolt. As the afternoon session began, Dubois dropped a bombshell. Lumière had received a competing offer from a German conglomerate. The room went silent. Edward's face drained of color. If Lumière walked, Pinnacle's stock would tank and his legacy would crumble. Sophia, sensing the panic, leaned in. "Don't react. Let me handle this." Before Edward could protest, Sophia addressed Dubois directly in French, her tone polite but firm. She spoke of Pinnacle's vision, its commitment to innovation, and how a partnership with Lumière could redefine the tech world. Her words were passionate, almost poetic, and Dubois listened, captivated. Edward watched, stunned, as the janitor's daughter held the room in her palm. Asterisk, but the drama wasn't over. As the deal neared its climax, the security guard burst into the boardroom, his face pale. "Mr. Langston, we've got a problem. The server room's been hacked. Someone's trying to leak the merger details. Gasps rippled through the room. Dubois stood, her voice icy. If your company cannot secure its data, this deal is off. Edward's hands shook, but Sophia stayed calm. She'd grown up in a world where problems were solved with grit, not panic. Give me 10 minutes, she said, sprinting to the server room with the IT team. Asterisk in the dim glow of the server room. Sophia worked alongside Pinnacle's frazzled techs. She didn't know coding, but her knack for languages helped her spot a pattern in the hackers' encrypted messages, French phrases mixed with code. It's someone on Dubois' team, she whispered to the lead tech. A nerdy guy named Kyle. They're trying to sabotage the deal. Kyle's eyes widened, but he trusted her. They traced the breach to a device linked to one of Dubois' aides, a young man who'd been unusually quiet all day. Security detained him, and the breach was contained. Asterisk back in the boardroom, Sophia revealed the truth to Dubois, who was visibly shaken. The aide confessed he'd been bribed by the German conglomerate to derail the merger. Dubois, humiliated but impressed by Sophia's quick thinking, apologized to Edward. Your translator is extraordinary, she said, her voice softer now. She has saved this deal. Edward, still reeling, nodded. She's not just a translator. Asterisk, the merger was signed that evening, a historic partnership that would dominate headlines. Edward, for the first time in years, felt a weight lift. He turned to Sophia, his voice gruff but sincere. You're getting a bonus, and a job if you want it. Sophia smiled, but her eyes drifted to Maria, who stood quietly in the hallway, watching her daughter with pride. I'll think about it, Sophia said. But I'm not here to chase your world. I'm here to build my own. Asterisk as the French team left, Dubois pulled Sophia aside. You have a gift, jeune fille. If you ever want to work in Paris, call me. Sophia nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. Back in the lobby, Maria hugged her tightly. You did it, Mia. You showed them, Sophia laughed, her voice light. We showed them, Mom, together. Asterisk, the next morning, Pinnacle's stock soared, and Edward's name was plastered across every business outlet. But whispers spread about the mysterious young woman who'd saved the day. Sophia didn't care for the spotlight. She was already back. At NYU, her nose in a textbook, dreaming of a future where no one would underestimate her again. Closing, wow, what a journey. From a janitor's daughter to the hero of $1 billion deal, Sophia's story is one for the ages. If you love this tale of grit, twists, and triumph, give us a like and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from in the USA? New York? California? Texas? Drop your city below, and let's see how far this story travels.